Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur spelling bee referee. Welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. AWSM Radio focuses on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day, like mine. All we do is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want to engage with you. As always, I want you to be part of the conversation here. So find me on Twitter and a great app named Rizzle at Colt S. Taylor, and catch up on the news that I'm reading every day at ColtSebastianTaylor.com. It's the place to be. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. It is time once again for a Kanye West 2020 presidential update. My favorite part of the show, that's why it's first, letting you know how rapper Kanye West is doing in his presidential efforts for the race for the White House. Well, unfortunately, there really isn't too much in the way of new news this week. All the deadlines for all the ballots have passed. He's not on a whole lot of ballots out there, and there are some pending lawsuits to get him knocked off of some states, and some pending lawsuits to get him kicked back onto ballots in other states. However, I thought it'd be interesting this week to go down the list of other presidential candidates who you may see on your ballot. I think Vermont or Colorado may have the highest number of candidates appearing on there. But some states, it's very hard to get on there. Other states, it's very easy. So I thought it'd be interesting. Who are Kanye West's third-party competitors, as it were? So I'm going to go down the list of candidates just to give you a brief idea of where you can find them and whatnot, and what states they're on, because I think that'd be interesting. So obviously, you got the Democratic and Republican candidates, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They are on every ballot in every state. Also on every ballot in every state is the Libertarian Party with Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen. Spike Cohen, by the way, was the partner of Vermin Supreme when he ran for the Libertarian candidate nomination. Just saying, there's a connection to the show. Next up is the Green Party. They are on 29 states and can be written in 17 other states, so they would be available for the most electoral votes, but not all, 381 electoral votes on the ballots that they're appearing on. Next up, we have the 2020 Party for Socialism and Liberation ticket. They are on 14 states with 195 electoral votes possible. Next up is the Alliance Party. They are on 16 states with 186 electoral votes. Very interesting. The previous person, the 2020 Party for Socialism and Liberation ticket, less states, but more electoral votes. Next up, we've got the Constitution Party. They are on 18 states and have a possibility of 166 electoral votes. Next, Brock Pierce. I mentioned Brock Pierce in a previous Kanye West 2020 update. He's the one who also paid $35,000 to get on the ballot in Oklahoma. Well, he is on 15 states and has 115 possible electoral votes available to him. Then Kanye West comes in. So Brock Pierce is on more states and has more possible electoral votes than Kanye West. He's on 12 states with 84 possible electoral votes. The American Solidarity Party is on 8 states with 66 electoral votes. The Socialist Workers Party is on 6 states with 53 possible electoral votes. Then there is the Unity Party. They're on 3 states. The Prohibition Party, yes, folks who do not like alcohol, they're still kicking. 4 states. The Progressive Party is 2 states. Jade Simmons, the other person I talked about being on the ballot in Oklahoma for paying $35,000, she is unfortunately only on 2 states ballots, Oklahoma and Louisiana. And let's see here. We've got the Bread and Roses Party, 2 states, Approval Voting Party, 2 states. An independent, he is on 2 states. The Life and Liberty Party, 2 states. Socialist Equality Party, 1 state. And that wraps up all the possible places you can vote for people on various ballots. But like I said, it looks like Vermont or Colorado, they're going to have the longest presidential ballot available to you if you lived in Colorado. I think it's Colorado is probably more than Vermont, but that is Kanye West's third-party rivals. It'll be very interesting to see if he gets more votes than other people. I mean, Libertarian and Green Party, it's going to be pretty hard to beat them. They're kind of well-known parties. But I'll tell you what, my friends, I will definitely poke around to see who of his third-party candidates he beat and who, well, beat him. Next up, my friends, is part 2 of my interview with the great Vermin Supreme. Part 1 was last week. Like I said, I only intended on speaking with him for about 5 to 10 minutes. Ended up being a 35-minute phone call with him. Really fantastic talking to him. So without further ado, part 2 of my interview with Vermin Supreme. So on a more meta level, what do you think would make elections better in the United States? Like, I personally think the way Maine does things, ranked choice voting, would be improvement. Ireland does multi-member districts to sort of get more of a sense of the community. Like, instead of having this one guy who was the biggest mob, send a few people, a few smaller mobs to represent you. I mean, I was curious what you think on a meta level. What sort of institutional changes could you make in the election system that would produce a better representative government, do you think?
Well, I think I like the ranked choice voting. I like it up in Maine. It's on the referendum here in Massachusetts. I think if we can, try it out in a few more states and see how the people like it and how they respond to it. Obviously, to jump to a federal level, I think that will require constitutional changes, probably. But nonetheless, I like that. I think it's more democratic. My only concern with it is that traditionally, I have always maintained that a vote for Vermin Supreme is a vote wasted or a vote thrown away. And with ranked choice voting, it might not be.
Well, I mean, that's just a branding concern more than anything else. I'm sure there's. Yeah, I'm sure you could brand a brand. There'd be a branding, marketing way around that. I think.
I am sure. I will not hold up the will of the people for my own petty little.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because it gets you to somebody like maybe not everyone loves, but everyone is okay. All right, good enough for me. Not my first choice, but okay, second or third. And then these smaller parties, like the Libertarian, Green, Pirate Party, might get a little bit higher. And if in some area, like, whoa, that Pirate Party, the Jedi Master Party got 15% last time. Maybe we should pick their brains and see why they're so popular with that segment of the population. And you get a better sense of what's going on in an area.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think it could be more representative in that fashion. Because I always believe, and I believe very strongly that I have constituents. I represent a certain segment of constituents. I think a lot of my constituents sort of fall under the banner of nerd or geek culture. Mm-hmm. But there's so many subcultures that come under that. And yet I think I sort of, in something that a lot of them have in common. Yeah, for sure. And so I think ranked choice voting could indeed cause the other politicians to pay a little bit more attention to the important issues of underrepresented segments of society, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Last serious question, then we're going to get some fun. Then we're going to get my fun, even more serious questions. If someone wanted to, figure out ways to like change the world, change the way culture is, what's sort of the best advice would you give them? Like you obviously have, you're in the national scene. You've got people talking about a variety of issues. Someone's just starting out, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, what kind of advice would you give them if they really wanted to change the world? How should they do it? There's a very deep question.
Well, changing the world that's incredible.
Maybe just move the needle.
If you were to take on, I want to change the world. You may be setting yourself up to failure, disappointment.
Maybe the bar might be a little high on that one.
However, what can I do to help make the world a slightly better place, or how can I, use myself? How can I, in my existence, how can I help my fellow people and planet? I think it's in that framing of the question. How can you save the world? Beyond the scope of a single person, but what can you, as a single person, do? And I think there's so many issues that are, that are on the plate that are involved. There's so many moving parts that I don't think you can hope to, affect them all. And so I think it's, finding the issues that most speak to you, that may be the most critical at the moment, or that you believe that you can perhaps affect the most with your particular skill set. Defining your, and for me, a lot's been, defining success by, my own standards, my own set. What am I? It's certainly not by winning. It's not by winning elected office, not at all. It's about, what sort of waves that you can make, even pretending to do something. So I think like that, there's so many zillions of different groups that are working on zillions of different issues, and even if I take a while to find the right group of people that are working on it, I have certainly found that as a young person, my attraction at the time was the global nuclear disarmament, and we were at the Nevada nuclear test site. We were doing peace marches, and you make a lot of friends who are working on similar issues doing that, and that's always exciting. Whenever a new movement rolls up, and this most recent one has been amazing. Just so many people out on the streets standing up for what is right and demanding accountability of the police state, and I am sure that these people are making the same connections and meeting the people that they will be working with, that they'll be seeing on the streets at demonstrations for 30, 40 years to come, pretty much. So that's just a wonderful thing. And, and keep be open to the experience, but also just be aware. It's like any scene. Not everybody's in it for the best of intentions either. So you can't just assume that. You have to definitely
do your homework.
Ideally have go in there with a buddy system or something. Ideally bring along somebody who you know and you trust, who a longtime friend, and that that's always a good start. And
All right, so here now time for the serious questions here in the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor. The boot.
All right, I'm ready, Cole.
Now, I wear a pith helmet. I have 3 pith helmets. I have 2 canvas ones, one here in my studio, one in my trunk of my car in case there's breaking news situations, and a white pith helmet when I wear a tuxedo. How many boots?
And you do pith in them.
Oh, I do. How many boots do you have?
I have a number of different boots. Picture, if you will, a scene from The Dark Knight where, going down the elevator into the Bat Cave, but it's the Vermin Cave, and we're walking along, and it's all dark, and the music is swelling up, and we come up upon the glass case, and I choose wisely which particular boot will be soon, and then Alfred pushes the button, and it raises up, and the nitrogen smoke pours out, and like that.
My pith helmet is more of Kurt Russell from Overboard. It's just some moving slides, and Goldie Hawn's totally unimpressed with my pith helmets. Do you still have your original boot from your first sort of soiree into the world, wearing a boot on the head? Is that like in a case somewhere?
Once again, of course, there's a lot of speculation whether there is some sort of alien creature underneath the boot that is somehow burrowed through my skull to control my thoughts, emotions, and movements. And, of course, that is not true. The boot itself is the alien entity that has attached itself to my head.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your question.
Fair enough. So you want to give ponies out to everyone in America. Obviously, there'll need to be an executive department of ponies to manage this pony distribution. But there's only so many buildings in Washington, D.C. Is there one or two executive departments you think are like, okay, we don't need these guys. We'll close these two down and just combine the staff to make a pony department?
Oh yeah, we'd get rid of ICE and DHS. I think we'd do IRS. All those troublesome.
Well, the bean counters at IRS would be helpful to make sure the horseshoe distribution and saddle distribution would be appropriate by need and by state.
Some institutions will be switched over. I mean, yes, there could very well be the Federal Pony Reserve, for example, or the Department of Homeland Pony Security, perhaps. Yes, we could easily insert the word pony into pretty much any.
Yeah, you could probably just keep the stationery, cross out the things on the top, and then you can save on all the paper costs. Really.
Absolutely. I like that kind of thinking. Have you ever counted beans, sir?
I had baked beans today from my mother, and I could count how much delicious they were. It had bacon in it, so I think that qualifies me. All right, for the final segment, it's time for the lightning round, the first ever lightning round here. Let's see.
All right, will we be inserting the thunder and lightning noises?
I don't know if I have the post-production budget, but people at home could do it in this next for the next 2 seconds. Oh, okay.
Well, how was that?
Only the best here on the Saturday Report. Only the best. Okay, here we go. Coke.
Lightning is light anyway.
Lightning is lightning. Coke or Pepsi?
Lightning itself isn't making. Lightning isn't thunder.
No, but lightning does make thunder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Science.
It's part of the same phenomenon. It's the same phenomenon.
It is. Yes. There's so much education on this program. I'm going to have to break this interview up into two parts. All right, here we go. Coke or Pepsi? You can answer with either one or a third choice answer since you were after the third choice. So the answer's up to you.
I will have to go with water.
Okay.
Water.
Star Wars.
I not to say I don't enjoy an occasional soda pop, but it's very occasional. And when I used to drink more, and then when I just realized that there are up to 48 grams of effing sugar, an ounce and a half of sugar in every can, I started to realize that could not possibly be a good liquid to consume.
Oh, no, it's terrible. I'm totally addicted. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Well, there's so many Star Wars and so many Star Treks. It's a hard comparison.
It's a hard hitting questions.
I like The Next Generation. I like the original Star Trek. As far as Star Wars, I saw the original run at the mall up the Highway of Peace, and I think I was on acid probably, and boy, that's a tough choice. But like I said, I've only seen the original Star Wars, so I'd have to weigh that really against the entire series of Star Trek and Next Generation, which is the one I'm more familiar with, of course, Scott Bakula, who I really enjoyed in that other one. What was it where he jumped in and became
Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap.
Yeah, Quantum Leap with his friend, the hologram and stuff. Do I have to really choose? I mean, can we not just throw in that meme? Why not both with the little?
Hey, it's your rodeo. You can say both.
Sure.
Both. All right.
Both.
Okay, last one. Vermin Supreme 2020 or Vermin Supreme Colt Sebastian Taylor 2024?
Well, I guess currently I have VerminSupreme2020.com.
Oh, man.
And it is currently 2020, and my name is Vermin Supreme. But then again, 24 is in the future, and your name is indeed Colt Samuel Taylor. Samuel Colt Taylor?
Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Colt Sebastian. I'm sorry, like the
Close
pony.
enough. Yeah.
So you're pretty much like a double-down pony. You know, Colt, your first name.
Yeah.
Sebastian, the name of another little pony. And then Taylor, which is probably another pony name, really. Probably another popular pony
Surely.
name. Well, now that in of itself certainly ups to those possibilities. I guess we'll have to, I don't want to commit myself. I can put you on my short list.
Okay,
Right?
I'll take a short...
I can put you on my list. How about that?
Short list is a win for me, my friend. Why not both?
All right, sure enough. I mean, ultimately, I do have a cabinet. It's a very big cabinet. It has lots of shelves. It has lots of drawers, lots of nooks, lots of crannies. And so I'm absolutely sure I could find some room for you in my cabinet.
Oh, hey, I'm a nook person.
If nothing else.
If nothing else. Well, my friend, thank you so much. I was hoping just to get 5 to 10 minutes with you, and it would hold a whole lot longer than that. So thank you so much for your time here on the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Well, you are welcome. Thank you very much for having me. Certainly feel free to, once again, check out VerminSupreme2020.com. It's still that year. It's still my name. I'm still running now for the Senate of Massachusetts. A little bit of lark, but it's certainly working out for me. Check out VerminSupremeInstitute.com. .org should redirect there, but Vermin Supreme Institute, of course, that's the institute. It's a spin-off of my campaign. People on my campaign wanted to continue the messaging and the good vibes and the love and the mutual aid and all that good stuff. Check out my book, iPony, Blueprint for a New America, available at iPonybook.com. It is a book about the future long after a Vermin Supreme presidency, after everybody has their pony, after zombie power fuels the nation, after the secret dental police have set up checkpoints every couple hundred yards. It is a warning from the people of the future to you, the people of their past, your present, that Vermin Supreme is a madman and must be stopped. Also, check out the podcast put out by Team Supreme called Let This Podcast Run Your Life. It's a podcast. I was in on the last episode, and it was pretty funny. What else we got going on there? I'm Vermin Supreme for President. That's on Twitter. I've got a blue check mark there.
You sure do.
No. That's on, I'm sorry. Facebook, I have the blue check mark. Facebook, Vermin Supreme for President is that blue check mark official. At Vermin Supreme is on Twitter. I don't have a blue check mark. I don't know why I don't, but
Tragedy.
I don't really care either.
Tragedy.
It's like, so what? It's okay. And then on TikTok, which it seems to be, it's going to disappear in a few days? I don't freaking know. But anyway, until then, check out all my content at The Real Vermin Supreme, at The Real Vermin Supreme on TikTok. On Instagram, I think Vermin Supreme 2020. I think also Vermin Supreme for President. Reddit, Discord, probably. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm on the internet. You just have to Google me up and stuff. But I'm there. I'm there for you. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, sir. And that concludes my interview with Vermin Supreme. You heard all the places you should go visit him. Go visit, follow, say hello. Tell him that Colt Sebastian Taylor sent you. You won't get anything, but it'll be funny if he gets a few of those messages. Speaking of greatness, and speaking of being on AWSM radio, my friends, you need to check out my friend, my boy, DC live in effect. The in-house DJ here at AWSM Radio, DC, he mixes it up every Friday night at 9 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. You do not want to miss out while he smashes it on the ones and twos, kicking the beats from somewhere, we don't even know where he is, somewhere in South Florida, his underground DJ compound. He is a master of DJing, probably master of ceremonies, actually. Anyways, you should check him out here on AWSM Radio. Fridays, Sundays, do it. I think you'll enjoy it. Next up is an update here from a previous story I did. Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson, and his exhibition fight against Roy Jones Jr. When I first reported this story, it was scheduled to take place last week, but they moved it to November 28th, 2020, so pushed back later this year because, well, they think they can make more money then than they could now, and hey, boxing's all about the money. So it'll be Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., November 28th, 2020, at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. But my friends, there are some other people on the card during this evening. First up, we will have Vidal Riley from the United Kingdom versus Rashad Coulter. Now, Vidal Riley is a YouTuber, he's a rapper, he's an internet personality. He is widely recognized as being the former boxing trainer of YouTube personality KSI, who is a boxer and a YouTube person. He will be facing, so that's Vidal, can't say his name right, Vidal Riley. He'll be facing Rashad Coulter, and this person is a mixed martial artist who was fighting in Bellator MMA and Legacy Fighting Championship, so they'll be on the undercard. Then next up will be Bado Jack versus Blake McKernan, who I don't know, but what's really interesting is you have Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. The fight before them will be Jake Paul, yes, YouTube personality Jake Paul, versus Nate Robinson, former NBA basketball player. It is Nate Robinson's professional debut. So those two will be going at. You may remember Jake Paul was the subject of a FBI raid in August, taking out a number of evidence. No real update on exactly what exactly the FBI raid was, but I guess not so serious that he can't be boxing in November. With that said, if he does get arrested, they may have to change that particular fight to something else. But that is rounded out the card in November. So come December, I will have an update of who won this fight and all of these fights. I'll give you all the details here on AWSM Radio on the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, because the one thing I enjoy, it's YouTube personalities fighting basketball players for money that I can't even imagine they would make. Keeping with sports, we will go from boxing to baseball. So baseball, they're playing baseball. In some cases, not with fans. Actually, I believe in all cases, not with fans, just cardboard cutouts. But they're playing baseball. But there was a delay yesterday between the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians. Wasn't rain. It was not wind. Wasn't snow. Wasn't smoke wildfire related. Drone. They had a drone delay. Yes, not the bees, but flying drones caused a delay in the baseball game. Well, just one. It flew over the stadium, caught the attention of some baseball players, and then landed in the field. And they had to pull everyone off the field and try to figure out what to do with it. Some players were jokingly hiding behind umpires and whatnot, but they had to stop the game when the drone landed because, well, it's a safety thing because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we live in very strange times, and someone could try to do something with the drone. So they pulled everyone off the field, and before they could try to get it or figure out what to do with it, it took off about 8 minutes later and flew away. Again, no one seems to really know whose drone this is or where the drone came from. Things are very difficult to track. But this is also not the first time a drone has delayed the game of a baseball game, and also not the first time the Cleveland Indians have had a run-in with a drone. Apparently in 2016, a pitcher tried to grab a drone out of the sky and cut his finger in 2016. Trevor Bauer. Drones have been becoming kind of a big problem at sporting events, even before the whole COVID-19 pandemic affected sporting events. But authorities are continuing to be concerned about these drones. I mean, no one has done anything illegal or dangerous with them yet, other than, flying them over stadiums where they shouldn't. But we're trying to figure out how to get drones not to do that anymore, because they could hurt someone, they could be a part of an attack. They're trying, I believe they're trying to put software into drones that know where it is. So if it knows it's near a stadium, it will not allow you to fly it over the stadium unless you have special access or special codes. But, much like jailbreaking an iPhone, that software is only going to be so good for so long before someone figures out how to do it. So that was a drone delay at the baseball game. Hopefully when we get back into stadiums in 2020 whatever, drones will not delay your game. And if you do have a drone, friends, stop flying it over baseball games, other sporting events. You're kind of creeping people out, and you make people really anxious when you do it. Next, my friends, next in the world of art, Banksy, the anonymous street artist that often puts up guerrilla art all over the world, he lost a court case. He was trying to trademark one of his earlier works called Flower Thrower, which was put up in 2005 in Jerusalem, Israel, and it depicts a young protester wearing a cap with a face half-covered throwing a bouquet of flowers, which, usually they're throwing rocks when they protest down there, but throwing flowers. Well, a full-color black, a company that sells products that are printed with images of his work, said that the trademark Banksy applied in 2014 should not stand because the artist did not utilize it and only ever applies it for trademark to stop to the ongoing use of his work, which he has already permitted to be reproduced. So Banksy allows his art to be reproduced, but doesn't want this company who takes his art and sells it to do it because they're making money off of it, and he doesn't feel like they should be making money off of his work. However, he lost the case. Why? Well, courts agreed with this case that he only applies trademark to stop other people, that he lets other people reproduce it, but not certain other people. Also, the court can't really say who owns it because he's never identified himself. And to, I guess, stop trademarks and copyright in the United Kingdom, they need to know who you are. Also, what might have, just suggesting, maybe would have hurt him in his court case is that he is quoted to say, copyright is for losers. So he frequently uses copyrighted and trademarked work in his art. And, the court said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. They say he could not stop this company from using his artwork. I don't see Banksy coming forward anytime soon to stop these people to use his artwork. So he will continue to likely make millions and millions of dollars over his things, while this other company makes a little bit of money on the side as well. Actually, I don't know if Banksy makes any money off his artwork. I mean, I know he puts things on walls and then people cut out the walls and then sell it for millions of dollars in auction houses, but I don't know if he actually gets a cut of that whatsoever. I don't know how Banksy funds himself. Maybe I'm Banksy. No, I'm a terrible artist. Nope. I'm just if there's stick figures drawn on a wall, then that'd be me. Friends, before we continue, let's talk about you, me, and AWSM Radio. Obviously, you're listening to me right now, Saturdays at 11 a.m., Sundays at 11 a.m., in case you miss Saturdays, and you listen to my boy, DC, on Fridays and Sundays as well. But let me ask you this. What are you doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday through Friday, basically, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Well, my friends, if you're not listening to AWSM Radio, then you're missing the Rocks Sessions, okay? Hosted by the lovely, fantastic, just a joy to talk to, Rocks. She hosts a drive time show, and she's going to make sure that your evening commute home is fun. It features the hottest music on the charts and some surprises in between. She is going to make it rock style. But if you miss out on this show Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., I mean, gosh, I just can't help you. I can't tell you the amount of amazingness you'll miss if you miss the Rock Sessions. We now go from street art to street protests. There have been a lot of protesting this summer. If you are not aware of it, then what reality do you live in? And may I come there? Is there a bar? But a story that piqued my interest was that in Washington, D.C., I think we all remember the protest of the White House got pushed back so President Trump could take a photo in front of a church holding a Bible. Well, before that, when protests were ramping up, authorities at the White House asked the Army if they could have access to a heat ray. No. You heard that right. A heat ray. Apparently, the U.S. Army has developed a little heat ray, a little microwave dish that if they point it at a crowd, it will make your skin feel like it's on fire for just a moment as a way to push people away without shooting gas or rubber bullets or beanbags, just sort of make it really uncomfortable to stand there like you just stepped on a hot coal. It heats the very top part of someone's skin to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very, very hot, and makes them back away and run away. And they asked, they're like, hey, we got some crowds out here. Do you mind could we borrow your heat ray? Well, this may not surprise you. The heat ray was not available. There is some question of the legality of using that on American citizens. I'm going to have to say it's probably illegal to do that because it's kind of a form of torture. Also, sure, it doesn't hurt, doesn't leave any long-term damage, doesn't scar you and whatnot. It's just a little hot and you walk away and you feel perfectly okay. If used correctly, if it's not used correctly, it can give you second-degree burns, which, my friends, although not the most severe burns, is the most painful burns you can get. Third-degree burns kill the nerves. You actually don't feel a thing. It just kills the skin. Second-degree burns gets down there deep. Nerves are still fine, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. And regardless, if you agree or disagree with protests outside of various places in the United States of America, I think we're all on the same page that we shouldn't risk burning people with a heat ray just to push them back and whatnot. I mean, again, probably shouldn't be shooting rubber bullets at people as well, but hey, I guess you got to do what you got to do to control riots. But heat ray, I'm not prepared to go the heat ray route quite yet. So, my friends, if you are out protesting come fall and winter and you see a large van pop up with a satellite dish on top, get out of line of sight because they may be going to heat ray you. Well, friends, we've come to my last story here this week on the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and it is a good one. It's a fun one. It's one I wanted to share with you. Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters recently engaged in a series of challenges between himself and 10-year-old drumming prodigy Nandi Bushell. Nandi Bushell from the United Kingdom. He would do some drumming. She would do some drumming. For a 10-year-old, holy moly, she's really good at, like, the best. Check her out on YouTube. Nandi Bushell, NandiBushell. Okay, because I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. And she does an amazing job. Well, Dave Grohl, in appreciation, he wrote her a theme song. He wrote her own theme song about how amazing she is and how great of a drummer she is. He has family sing backup vocals on it. He wrote her a song. The head of the Foo Fighters wrote this 10-year-old rock prodigy, probably a rock legend in the making, a song, and I thought that was so amazing. I thought it was great. Go on YouTube, check it out. You see her, you see them going back and forth, and then you can watch his video for the very first time. It is really, really adorable, and I think it'll bring a smile to your face on, hopefully it was a good week, but if it was a rough week, this is a good way to start out your Saturday. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up this week's report, the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, you can find me on Twitter and Rizzle at Colt S. Taylor. Feel free to engage me there if you want me to cover a story you think I missed or you want to check out another story on there, because I am putting new stories up practically every day at ColtSebastianTaylor.com. Some news I don't cover on here, some news I do. And also, check me out on the social globe. I'm a bit of a brand ambassador as well. Lots of fun things going on with your old pal Colt Sebastian Taylor. But until then, until next time, my friends, I am, of course, your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.